My name is David Chu. I'm honored to be the first Asian American city attorney in the city and county of San Francisco. Thank you, Madam Mayor. And on behalf of the city and county of San Francisco, welcome to the official kickoff of AAPI Heritage Month. I often say that our city, we are the spiritual, the cultural, the social center of the Asian American community in our country. And this is not just because of our history, the fact that Asian immigrants started here in our very city. It's not just because of the fact that we have the oldest Chinatown in the United States, one of 3 Japantowns in the United States, Little Saigon, the Filipino Cultural Heritage District, and so many communities that reflect the diaspora of our AAPI community. It's because of all of you who represent this amazing diversity, who are leading in so many ways, and I just want to thank you for that. We have so much to celebrate this year, and I'm not just talking about Academy Awards. I'm talking about the progress that we were making after a very challenging several years as we are bringing our community back after COVID in the wake of anti-Asian hate as we move things forward, and each of you, again, has been a part of that. I also want to say that San Francisco this year, there's so much that we are doing to continue to anchor our status as the Asian American capital, and that includes the fact that this fall in November, San Francisco is going to be the host city to APEC, which is the Asian Pacific Economic Cooperation Leadership Summit, where we will be hosting literally heads of states from countries to our east, representing where our communities came from, and it's going to be an incredible moment to showcase who we are. I know today we're going to be acknowledging a lot of folks, and shortly we're going to be hearing from our great mayor, we're going to be hearing from our city administrator. I want to take a moment and acknowledge our Asian American sheriff. I want to acknowledge the head of our Asian Arts Museum, and I'm looking for other department heads. I know the head of our library is here, Michael Lambert, and I'm sure I'm missing others, but I'm sure the mayor will catch up with me once I complete my comments. But let me also say this. This event this month would not happen but for tremendous community partners, and they're listed on the boards we have here, but we have many, many amazing community partners. I know we're going to acknowledge several of them for their decades of leadership. We have many amazing community sponsors, but we only have one woman who has been at the heart of this event for the better part of 19 years, since she was, I think, 8 years old. This is an event that came about because the then head of National Organization of Chinese Americans approached then Mayor Gavin Newsom and said, it is high time for San Francisco to put ourselves on the map in acknowledging AAPI Heritage Month. And Claudine Cheng, you've been at the heart of this. You have worked so hard for almost 20 years of doing this. Thank you so much on behalf of the city for everything you do. And without further ado, Claudine Cheng.
Time does fly. 19 years, hard to believe, but really this is a labor of love for everybody who is involved every year to put together this celebration. It's amazing. 19 years, we really do not have, people ask me, some of the sponsors, about, oh, what is your operating budget, this and that. We really do not have an office. We really do not have staff. All we have are our volunteers and our committee, and I really cannot thank enough our committees, and especially at this time I'd like to introduce our 3 celebration co-chairs. Unfortunately, Thomas Lee is out of town for work, but El Perez, Entertainment Commissioner El Perez, one of our celebration co-chairs, and the amazing Grace Horikiri, celebration co-chairs. And a special shout out to Dennis Yee, who is heading up our awards committee. Dennis, thank you so much for everything. So our city attorneys talk about the rough and tough times that the API community has gone through in the last few years. So we feel that when we think about a theme, we just feel that we really need to take the opportunity to continue to strengthen ourselves. And so to make it very simple, our theme this year is strengthening the fabric of our community. Looking around, we might all be coming from different places. We have may have different culture, history, heritage, but we are one AAPI community, and we hope that throughout the month of May, that's what all the program is going to tell this story of our community. Thanks to, again, to our co-chair Thomas Lee, who is very, very creative. This year, this is our event. This is our commemorative poster, and it's really a very intricate design of different parts of the fabrics, as you can see, putting the different parts of the fabrics together, how the community is going to connect and be one whenever we can. On our website now, which is just updated again by Thomas, is the celebration guide. The celebration guide includes a list of all the art and cultural events that are happening, the key events that we are aware of that is happening in San Francisco during the whole month of May. I want to really appreciate our celebration partners, the Asian Art Museum, the CAMFest, San Francisco Public Library. I mean, throughout the month of May, that's amazing. So many events that for everybody, for all generations to enjoy. We are not just celebrating our month, we are also, I think in May, we are also celebrating Small Business Week. So we are also this year having a joint celebration of Small Business Week. I think El Perez have taken leadership of that. We are going to have this fun event called Child Fun in his district, District 11, is it? Yeah, and to collaborate and bring out help out our small business in that area with Small Business Week and all the restaurants. So there are many ways throughout the city that we are, every year we are trying to think about new ideas. How do we expand this collaboration? How we can spread the community love around. So there are really plenty going on, and we look forward to seeing many of you next Wednesday at our APA Heritage Awards and reception. But we really cannot do all of this without the city's support. And since 2005, we are so happy to have all the mayors' strong support and presence every year when we celebrate. And it is a very important message that we are supported both in the bottom by our communities and all the way, the whole spectrum. So I'd like to welcome Mayor Breed to our. Ouch!
I think Mayor Lee wanted us all to know that he's still with us in some capacity or another. I take that as a sign, and a good one, for really the spirit of the Asian community in the city and county of San Francisco, one of resilience and one of excitement in these times after dealing with some very challenging times. What I appreciate most about this opportunity to celebrate the month of May as Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month is we have an opportunity to really talk about not only the accomplishments and the things that we have achieved in the arts and in philanthropy and community, but we have an opportunity to really reflect on the past and to also look back at what this community has gone through and emerged even stronger than it has ever been as a united front against those challenges. And so this is really an opportunity to reflect, because last year, I don't know if there were a lot of smiles on people's faces in light of all the anti-Asian hate and the attacks on many of our Asian seniors in particular. There was a lot of sadness and a lot of frustration, and coming together and working together and making investments and changes to policies, and with our new DA, accountability has really changed what is happening in these communities all over San Francisco. No, we are not where we need to be, but we have come a long way, and we are seeing those numbers decline thanks to really an emergence of our public safety officials, including our own Paul Miyamoto, who has really been at the forefront of working with Chief Bill Scott and working with District Attorney Brooke Jenkins to make sure that accountability is at the forefront of the work that we do, because San Francisco, as a compassionate and second chance city, we believe in reforms, we believe in second chances, and we believe in the importance of the work to deal with the challenges that exist. But we also truly believe that when those lines are crossed, people need to be held accountable, and that is also a part of a safe community. I also want to take the opportunity to really recognize the amazing organizations who really stepped up, the CYC with their various ambassador programs and also self-help for the elderly with the work that they've done for the senior escort program. And so many people and volunteers really came together in our city, and it has been a really beautiful thing. I was just out in Chinatown last week really celebrating community coming together and the festivities and all the kids and the excitement for the spring and the Year of the Rabbit. And I was on Clement Street celebrating there and the Cherry Blossom Festival the past couple of weeks. And I thought to myself, nothing makes San Francisco come alive more than these activities and festivals and celebrations in many of our commercial corridors. And the Asian community as a whole is at the heart of all of those activities. So I want to just really reflect on that and how far we've come as a city and the excitement that will spring out as a result of APA Heritage Month in San Francisco, thanks to the great leadership of Claudine and Thomas and Al Perez and so many people who spend a lot of time volunteering to help make this really an incredible opportunity for people to explore different parts of the city, including our folks from Visitation Valley, our Pacific Islander community, who really has been at the forefront of helping to make sure that part of San Francisco is not forgotten. So today we are grateful to our Asian Art Museum. Thank you, Jay, for being here, our partners with the San Francisco Public Library, and you have a fierce advocate in Michael Lambert, and also CAMFest we know is going to be a big thing, but they also are a partner for Asian Pacific and Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. It's a mouthful. But today we also take a moment to really honor a number of organizations, the 30, 40, and 50 years of existence. And I don't know if you did that on purpose, Claudine, but the Asian Pacific Fund for supporting community through philanthropy and making sure those investments get made in Asian organizations. The Angel Island Immigration Station Foundation for 40 years, protecting the stories and the history and the heritage of the Asian community in the Bay Area. The Japanese Cultural and Community Center of Northern California, one that is absolutely my favorite because of the work that they have done with me in partnership over the years. Even before I was a supervisor on the Board of Supervisors, the collaboration that took place between this center and the African American Art and Culture Complex, those cross-cultural relationship building opportunities were always central in my life in the Western Addition community. And so they are celebrating 50 years. So a wide spectrum of organizations doing extraordinary things, along with events, activities, films, you name it. It's all a part of what's happening during the Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month for the month of May in San Francisco. And I am so grateful and excited. I want to really thank and acknowledge all of our sponsors for investing in our Asian community. I know U.S. Bank and Amazon and Wells Fargo are some of the top sponsors here, making sure that the resources are available so that community can have support. And I see Valley Brown from Grants for the Arts. Thank you for making sure that we continue to invest in our arts organizations, our parades, our festivals, and our exciting events of San Francisco. And I'm going to just leave you with this. APEC is going to be extraordinary in San Francisco. And what is so amazing about what it represents, David Chu touched upon it a little bit, but this is going to be an international event of a magnitude proportion. And when I say that, no other event on an international scale has existed in San Francisco since 1945, when the United Nations was created right here in our city. And so we will have heads of states, we will have CEOs and folks and companies. This will be an opportunity to showcase San Francisco like never before, and the Asian community will be on full display. We know that there are so many people who come from Asia, in different parts of Asia, and we know that there is a very close-knit relationship for community, but also for business. And so that will be on full display during November when APEC will descend upon San Francisco like never before. We will be on center stage, and this community will be at the forefront of so many events and activities that we will do to make it clear what is great about San Francisco, to make it clear all the wonderful things that are happening in our city. No one is going to define the narrative of our city. We are the writers of what happens in this city and our history, and also our awesomeness as it relates to the work that we do to bring community together. So what we're going to do in our celebration, we're going to show them what San Francisco is all about during the month of May, during APEC, and year-round as we continue to build relationships and change San Francisco for the better, working with each and every one of you. Thank you all so much for being here to kick off Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month in the city and county of San Francisco.
Thank you, Mayor London Breed. So our next speaker, our city administrator, Carmen Chu. Carmen was one of our honorees in earlier years, and obviously have an illustrious public service career through City Hall, so many positions as Board of Supervisors, Assessor, Recorder, and now City Administrator. So thank you for being here, Carmen.
Hello. Well, you really can't follow the mayor, so I'm not sure why I got this wonderful responsibility. But I really wanted to be here to celebrate with you and to tell you how excited I am to celebrate with my daughter. She's finally vaccinated. She's 4 years old. We're going to get out there. I want her to see what our city is all about and to be able to experience all the wonderful parts of our city. But I really want to take a minute to acknowledge the mayor and her championship of all of the wonderful things that happen in our city. There are so many things that happen. The things that you see might be the headlines that grace our news. It might be the information that is kind of top of mind when it comes to conversations in the public sphere. But by and large, sometimes the support that you get from leadership comes in ways that are small and quiet but effective. I don't know if you know, I know she just mentioned Valley and the Grants for the Arts program, but this mayor understood just how important it was to not only revitalize our economy and make sure that we're activating our spaces in our city, but the fact that every time we have these parades, these festivals, these cultural events, there are an opportunity to uplift the communities that we value so much in our city. I don't know if you know, but in our last budget, she doubled the amount of investment that we made in parades and festivals. These are not things that ever get covered in press because maybe people don't pay attention to those small things, but they are the things that make a difference, and I just really want to acknowledge her support. If anybody saw her at the Cherry Blossom Festival, just recently, I was on that float with her. Oh my goodness. She is no better champion. She was dancing, enjoying it, and I'm like, how am I going to dance next to the mayor? That is not something that is definitely in my forte. But she really is a champion. I want to just thank the mayor for all of her support for these events because it truly is important. But I have the wonderful opportunity today to be able to acknowledge the 30, 40, and 50-year-old contributions of these organizations. So it's not only about getting the voice of our API community out there, but it's also about recognition of the people and the organizations who have been steadfast in our community, supporting our community, and helping us weather all of the storms. So this time I want to be able to recognize the people and ask you to stand so we can give you a big round of applause for their contributions. Representing the Asian Pacific Fund, Carolyn Wang Kong, who is the President and Executive Director. Asian Pacific Fund is celebrating their 30th anniversary. They have been doing so much to not only be a community foundation that helps to support our organizations across the Bay Area, but really has been focused on making sure that we're continuing to make the investments in our API community funds all across the board. So I want to thank you for being here representing the organization, and we look forward to recognizing your contributions. The Angel Island Immigration Station Foundation, represented by Darlene Chu Bryant. Celebrating their 40th year, as you know, the Angel Island Immigration Station Foundation is devoted to preserving the former U.S. immigration station at Angel Island and promote the history of the exclusion, detention, hope, and determination of all immigrants who arrive there. So I want to thank you, Darlene, for all of your great work and continue to keep our history alive. Thank you. And finally, the Japanese Cultural and Community Center of Northern California. Scott Okamoto, are you there? There you are. And Lori Matoba as well, the Deputy Director, is celebrating 50 years in our city. The center preserves and promotes Japanese American culture and historical heritage, enhances understanding and appreciation among people in the United States and Japan, and promotes a multi-service community space to serve the community. So for those organizations who've had an immense impact on San Francisco, thank you so much, and we look forward to continue to celebrate with you throughout the month. Thank you.
Thank you, Carmen. I see that our Sheriff Paul Miyamoto is also here. Would you like to say a few words?
Thank you. I just want to say one thing, that the theme this year is strengthening the fabric of our community. And if I could draw your attention to my pants, I just happen to be wearing denim today. Today is World Denim Day, in recognition of the support that we in public safety and in all the different positions in our community we give to women, victims of sexual assault, victims who have to suffer sometimes through biases and prejudices on being victims, and we want to show that support for them by wearing denim jeans. And I don't want to go into too much detail other than to say something happened in Italy where someone was blamed for being assaulted because of the clothing that she wore. And that's why legislatures in that country the next day wore denim in support of the victim, and we do that now in recognition of that. So I think it's very timely because we're strengthening the fabric of our community. Denim is a very strong fabric, and it also represents how we support each other worldwide on things. And that just brings us all together over one issue. We're coming together now in celebration, but I also want to make sure we always remember community is there to support each other through good times and bad. And as we've all gone through the experiences of AAPI hate, as we've all gone through the experiences of the challenges that we have in public safety right now, I just want to remind everyone, we rely on you to make sure that we're in this together to keep people safe. So please keep that in mind. You mentioned APEC. More than a few people have mentioned APEC, and every time I hear that, as a public safety member, we're challenged with keeping everyone safe, and we'll need your help to do that. So let's start with the celebration and roll up our sleeves for the good work to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. As the mayor have mentioned and previous speakers, we are so fortunate that this celebration every year was really well supported by many organizations, our community sponsors, all the nonprofits, to our business sponsors. So we are really thankful, and today we want to specifically acknowledge our Heritage Champion sponsors, because they really have been amazing to want to support how we strengthen the fabric of our community. I want to first acknowledge Wells Fargo, because in 2005 when we started, when we never have done any celebration before, Wells Fargo was there to support us, and through the years, and now returning, we are so excited. So I want to invite Lorenzo Cordova from Wells Fargo. He's the Vice President of Philanthropy and Community Impact, to say a few words.
Thank you, Claudine. Good morning, everyone. I'm Lorenzo Cordova on the Philanthropy and Community Impact team at Wells Fargo, and we're thrilled to be here this morning to kick off and celebrate the start of AAPI Heritage Month here in San Francisco. There's no denying that the San Francisco is a great city it is today because of the contributions of our AAPI community, past and present. Wells Fargo, like Claudine mentioned, has been a steadfast partner of our AAPI community. In fact, it was one of the first California companies to service our Chinese customers in their native language. Just last year, through a partnership with the Chinese Cultural Center of San Francisco, we unveiled a community mural where we depicted 12 AAPI community heroes. So as you engage in AAPI-related activities, I invite you to visit the corner of Jackson and Grant Avenue to view this mural. This year, one of the many ways that we're celebrating AAPI Heritage Month is through the sponsorship of the Heritage Awards, at which we will be celebrating these 3 organizations that work day in and day out to equip our AAPI community with the resources and tools that our AAPI community needs to succeed. I want to thank Claudine Chang for her steadfast leadership and dedication to execute this event, to our Mayor, Mayor London Breed, for her commitment to celebrating and amplifying the voices of all the communities that make this city a special place to call home. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorenzo. And next, I'd like to invite our friend from U.S. Bank, Sandy Walliam, who is the Senior Vice President and Bay Area Market Leader. Thank you for your support. Sandy.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sandy Wallia, and I'm the Bay Area Market Leader for U.S. Bank, where we believe every day that we invest our hearts and our minds to help power human potential. In alignment, actually, with the theme for AAPI Heritage Month, which is strengthening the fabric of our community, U.S. Bank has recently committed to $100 billion investment back into our communities, with 60% of that right here in California over the next 5 years, to really help make community possible through inclusive and equitable growth. So very excited about that commitment back to our communities. We are passionate and committed to creating more access as well as more opportunities to help all of our minority-owned businesses succeed, as well as helping to close the racial wealth gap in this country through our dedicated program that we've launched, which is called Access Commitment. We really believe in putting our people first and drawing all of that strength through the diversity which we can see in this room today. And really on behalf of all of us at U.S. Bank, we look forward to our continued partnership to serve San Francisco and help make Bay Area a wonderful place. Thank you.
Thank you, U.S. Bank, and also appreciate Amazon's multi-year support. Unfortunately, Sally Kay cannot be here today. So we are almost at the closing of our press conference. I want to acknowledge, I see a couple of commissioners here. Commissioner Irene E. Riley from the Human Rights Commission is here. Commissioner Ying Liu from the Arts Commission is here. Anybody I'm missing? And as we go into May, I already mentioned, please go to our website, apasf.org, for the celebration guide that has a good listing of everything that's happening in the city. I want to and what is not on the website is our 2 kickoff events this Saturday. It's very exciting. We are kicking off this Saturday, April 29th, first at noontime in Japantown. Grace Horikiri is there, and in her team, we are going to have 2-3 hours of celebration in Japantown, after which we are going to our Samoan Community Development Center in Visitation Valley. Thank you very much, Patsy Tito and your team. They are also going to have the AAPI month kickoff. So, everywhere in the city, we want to have action. We want to engage, people in the different neighborhoods so that, we are all part of it. So, and I look forward to seeing all of you next Wednesday. We will have a full house. If you have not registered, please do so. And as many of you have been to our events, the first hour is at the Herbst Theater, where we do the awards presentation and some cultural performances. But then everybody comes to City Hall, where we will transform it to be our party space. So I hope that all of you will stay and come and enjoy yourselves. So thank you very much for being here. And please take a poster with you. If you can put it in your organization, office space, and whatnot, help spread the word, that would be great.